All right, so today we're going to do a home cleaning training session. Just some little things to think about, things that will add value to your service and increase your worth as a cleaner. Little bit of background, I started this whole business as a home cleaner. I did it for 3 years. I just worked for cash, privately. And I had 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon. So I did 6 hours each day, 5 hours, 5 days a week. And I was pretty happy with that. But then I had a wait list of people waiting to get on. If somebody dropped their shift, could they take it? So that's what started the business off, basically, was demand. So all of the things I've learned over that period, I don't particularly like home cleaning. It's not my forte at all. I like doing big commercial jobs. I like doing strip and seals and that sort of thing. But these are the things that I have learned that I can pass on to you guys to hopefully make you better cleaners. All right. So have any of you, I need to know, watched the induction video?
No.
No, all three? Okay, that's good. There's a lot of stuff in that too. I'll get you to read that. It's on YouTube, and I'll send you the link for it. A lot of that is like security issues, what to do in this situation, that sort of stuff. But we won't go through that today. Today, what I want to go through is maximizing the client's experience with us every time we go to a house. The first thing I want to talk about is timing. Obviously, because some of you are fast cleaners and some of you might not be, and that creates an issue for me. The reason is because you might be really fast and can get what you think is the whole job done in, say, 90 minutes. It's going to take one of the other girls 2 hours. So if you come in for 90 minutes and then next week Flossie comes in and does it for 2.5 hours, the client gets the invoice at the end of the month and then starts asking me questions. Why is she faster than that one? So what I'm trying to get across is if it's a 2-hour job, I want everybody there for the full 2 hours, and I want you to go around and add value to that rather than thinking I'm going to shorten this guy's invoice so that he doesn't have to pay so much next time. A lot of the invoices that we send out, especially for the NDIS clients, they don't see it. They don't get to spend that money either or. So they don't really care. You know what I mean? Yeah. They've got a budget of like 50 grand a year, and they have to spend it. So you going in and doing a shorter clean is not helping them. It's actually the opposite. And what we need to maintain as a group of us is like a continuity of flow, so that every time we go in, he knows he's going to get a 2-hour clean, she knows she's going to get a 90-minute service, and that's what we do. And if you are a fast cleaner, I know it can be a problem. It can be an issue because you're like, fuck, I'm done. I've done everything. What do you want me to do? Sit here on my hands. No, I don't. That's it. But there is always something else you can do.
Always do, yeah. And I've got to get into dusting now, so I get
but a lot of this, like outside windows, they never get done. You know what I mean? If you're at a house and you're finished and you've got 20 minutes left, there's the oven you can pop out some lights, clean some light covers. Everything you've learned in bond cleans, you take back into the home cleaning environment. Put a load of washing on. See if you can find some ironing, something, anything. There'll always be something there that you can do. So that's my first point before we get started. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through how I approach a home clean, and then you can tell me what you think. Okay. All right. So a home service it's weekly or fortnightly. You're going into someone else's property, and you really have to be aware of that. You are in a position of trust. A lot of people in this country do not like having any person in their home that is not their family. Full stop. Yep. So it's a massive thing to let somebody that you don't know, they don't even often know your name before you turn up. You know what I mean? So it's a big deal for them. It might not seem it to you because you do it all day long, every day. but it is a big deal to them. And you've got to sort of keep that in mind, is that we are in a position of trust. We get to see them at their most vulnerable. We get to see, you know, her knickers on the floor. We get to see all of that, which is, they wouldn't let their doctor see that, you know? So you just got to be mindful of that, that you are in a sort of a trusting position. And I want you to see it from the caring framework, is that we're there to care for them. We're there to help them. They've got fucked up lives and they haven't got enough time. And what we're there to do is to help them and care for them. All right. That's the first thing. Going into your house clean, you might think, I only need 1 bottle of this and 1 bottle of that this time. I won't worry about my bucket. I won't worry about the ladder. I won't worry about the cobwebber. Usually, if you can do that once and that's fine, but if you do that week after week after week at every job, none of the extras are going to get done. So when you are unpacking that car, I always say, take your tray in and your cobwebber and your rags, come back out, or take that lot in and do that part of the job, then bring them out and then come back in later on with your vacuum and your mop. You know what I mean? Instead of doing 2 trips, go in, out and go in, out. But the first time round, get everything. Make sure you take your cobwebber with you. It's really important. It takes 5 seconds to cobweb a room, and it makes such a big difference over like a 3-month period, because you're the only one who does it, you know, and if you don't do it, no one else is going to.
Yeah.
So take a full tray. Time, wear a watch. Has anyone got a watch on? I bet you none of you have got watches on, have you? I know that's what everyone says to me, but I've got a phone. But your phone's in your back pocket, where it should be, in your back pocket.
Trying to find the time on a bloody computer. Do you know what time it is?
Yeah, but it's, and I'll tell you why, because I'm going to talk about the magic time. I'll give you any scenario, okay? You've got a 3-hour clean. She has it once a fortnight. You go in at 9, you're out at 12. You know that the floors take 42 minutes because you've timed it. And I would ask you to time every single floor clean you do from now on, so that you know for a fact how long it's going to take you to do your floors, right? Full vacuum and mop in the corners, under the beds, everything. If you know every job you go to, it takes 27 minutes to do your floors, then 27 minutes from 12 is when you start the floors, and you don't start a minute before. Now, you go in at 9 o'clock, you do your first bathroom, takes 20 minutes, second bathroom and toilet takes 25. That's 45 minutes you've spent. So it's 10 to 10 now. You do the kitchen, you're in there for another 40 minutes. It's 10:40, okay? From 10:40 until 11:15 is nearly half an hour before you start the floors. And that's your magic time. That's the time when you go around and you, right, fuck, I'm going to clean 3 blinds. She'll be amazed. She'll fall off a chair when she sees it. And make sure you tell them, I cleaned 3 of your blinds today, you know? Yeah. And that's all about adding value. And
well, they were quite surprised when I went around to all the businesses and homes last week with a duster.
Yeah.
They haven't seen it.
They've never seen anyone with a fucking duster.
They were like, you got duster on you? Bring me duster in. Yeah, and I don't think a lot of the cleaners actually have dusters either, Lisa. So because I think,
well, that's an easy fix. Yeah, that's an easy fix. Yeah. I have those like triangular cobwebbers, and they actually screw down, so they're not very long, and then you can screw them out if you need to. You know.
Yeah.
I use one of them, but a duster's just as good as long as you're tall enough to hit the top edges.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's something I also want you to be aware of. So yeah, time management. I don't like wearing a watch, but I wear a watch because I know I can count. Right, I'm going to start there. I've got 20 minutes. Go. And that magic time in the middle of your clean is where you add. Or see, if you started your floors at 10:45, because you could, you know, you've done everything. Yeah, I'll start the floors. You're not going to do damp dusting afterwards, are you? And that's when you're going to leave early because you're finished. It's like, well, fuck, I'm finished now. There's no point doing that until you're in that position to finish. You know, get everything stacked up at the front door so you're straight out of there. But use that time in the middle of the clean, especially since we've started Blip, I've noticed a lot of shorter cleans than before. I don't care what was happening before. It doesn't matter. But we've got to go back to the 2 hours or the 90 minutes or whatever it was. And then we can do so much more in that time now because we've got a little bit more extra time. Oh, up our sleeve. Sorry, stop that. Whoops. Okay, what's next? Time. Pets on the premises, just a quick one. If there's a pet there, it's your responsibility to keep it inside. If it's an outside dog, it needs to stay outside. If it's an inside cat, it needs to stay inside. I know that sounds obvious, but we have had issues in the past with cats getting out or dogs getting in and whatnot. So I always say wherever that animal is, make sure it stays there. Okay?
Yep.
Cobwebbing, we've gone through that. Bins. At any home clean, if I find any bin ever, I refill it. Even if I even do it if you weren't doing the kitchen, if you're doing just a 2-hour bathrooms and floors, if you find a bin, reline it. People love that shit, you know. It's not helping them, is it? You know, it's just one of those little things that you can do and take out the rubbish so that the next time she has to do the rubbish is not this afternoon, it's tomorrow. It's all about adding a little bit of value for no time, basically. My other big one on home cleaning is to wipe the bedside table. I always wipe the bedside table irrespective of how long I'm there. I'll just go in and clean it. When I'm vacuuming, I'll have a damp rag in my back pocket and just give that a wipe as you're going past it, you know? It's such a small thing and it takes such a small amount of time. And even if you're only there for a 90-minute service and you've got to try and get everything done, it makes a big difference when that person gets into bed at night and the bedside table is clean as opposed to full of coffee and dog shit and whatever was on there before, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the other thing I want you to think about is seeing it from their point of view. They are contracting a professional, which is you guys. You are the professionals. They need to see us doing a better job than they can do themselves. You've got to think about that. And what that means in real terms is that if you're mopping the floor and you mopped all the way out and it looks beautiful and then you leave one hair just as she walks in the door, that's the one hair that she's going to pick up and go, You can't give them an She wants to get one and they start with another and then they're like,
Look like yourself. It's not a pube.
You know what I have to live with. Anyway, all right, I'm going to keep going because I'm going to run out of time and we've only got 20 minutes left.
People are very much like that, any hair or anything, you know, fluff, a
You know what I
cobweb,
mean?
even one
You did it.
corner.
You did an amazing job the whole house, and then there's one fucking hair at the front door that gets shut.
Yeah.
You know what I mean.
I agree.
All right. So we've talked about magic time in the middle. We've talked about timing. Okay. So I'm going to run through kitchens and how I approach them on a home clean, just so you know. So I see the thing as you've got your kitchen cupboards in front of you. I start there and I work my way along and just work your way along.
What do you mean, just like down and everything like that normally?
Well, I look at your cupboards.
Itself.
No. I start from one end of the kitchen and just move all the way around is really what I mean by that. Just as you would on a bomb clean, really. But all you're looking for on a home clean is to clean the cupboard fronts where necessary. So that's not always the whole cupboard front, is it? It's just that finger mark by the handle. And that's all you have to get. And you think, oh, no, I've got to do the whole thing. You know, some of those new cupboards are shitty, shiny, crap things that you really do have to clean the whole thing. But normally you don't. And it's just, I just did that one, did that one, did that one. You don't have to do the whole kickboard, but check the kickboard. If there's 58 flies under there and some cobwebs, then I'd probably get them, you know? It's more about, again, checking, looking. So kitchen cupboards, fronts, top lip, not inside cupboards unless she's given you some kind of directive to do inside the cupboards. I stay out of them. Benches. I don't move everything off the bench. What I normally do is I'll move whatever's on the left side of the bench, I'll move to the right side, clean that bench and splash back, and then clean those items and then put them back. That's a given. Going around things doesn't work. Just once you commit to moving all that shit and you've moved it and you're into it, you know? Yeah. You've got to do it every single time. Cleaning around things is that's how we lose jobs, because people clean around things, basically. People don't like it. It's what they would do themselves, and it's a bit lazy. You know what I mean? Yeah. Also, your bench, have a look at it, because sometimes your bench is more grotty than you realize. I often take my pool scrubber and do my bench with a bit of claw foam. Comes up beautifully. So yeah, you've got to be aware of that. And also, when you're cleaning your bench, which is at the end of the kitchen clean, get down onto the bench level and look. So you've got the bench like that, and then look, and you'll see how much more shit you've missed. That's another good trick, is to get down to that eye level and have a look from there. So when I walk into my kitchen, I walk straight in, cobweb, then I open my microwave. I take the microwave plate out, put that straight into hot soapy water. I go straight over to the hot plate, take all the knobs off and any gas appliance parts, chuck them in the water. The top of the bin, I take that off, chuck that in the water and get that lot soaking. So that's all working away without you doing anything. You know what I mean? Then I spray the inside of the microwave, shut the door, let that sit. Then I start my cupboards. Work your way along with the cupboards. As you come to the fridge, I normally wipe the outside, and I might wipe the inside where the food isn't there, if that makes sense. I wouldn't ever take anything out of the fridge. Cleaning out a fridge is an hour-and-a-half job. So all you need to be doing is like tidying it up. You know, the drip marks at the bottom. It takes 5 seconds. It doesn't take long. So you can keep going. Oh, is somebody driving?
I'm actually logging now.
All good.
Yeah, the train.
All right. If you when you're cleaning your sink and there's a window behind it, I always try and clean that window too. Yeah. Not popping out, doing anything like that. Just literally that piece of glass. Yeah. Why not? It doesn't take long. What else? So wipe kickboards, wipe your points, scrub your splashback, bleach your splashbacks. When you actually come to cleaning the sink, I take everything off the sink. I usually get my metal scourer onto that big plate and give that a real good scrub with a bit of bleach. You have to bleach your drains, because that bleach is the only thing that will get that tea and coffee stains out of your plugs. You know, your metal plugs.
Doesn't markings on the metal though, because a lot of people complain that looks really grubby once it's dried on there.
Oh, no, that's the claw one that makes it all streaky. Bleach doesn't do that.
Yeah, well, I use Windex to make it all nice and pretty.
Yeah, but I usually scrub them first, you know.
Yeah, you do first,
whatever you do, I would definitely dry it off, because you need to buff everything dry and make sure they're nice and shiny. A lot of kitchen appliances these days are made of crap. They're actually they're not even brushed chrome anymore. They're just literally a plastic coat, which is silver. Which means, you know, you've got to be careful what you're doing with sinks. Old-fashioned sinks, you can hit them with pretty much anything. New sinks, not so much. New sinks tend to be like, you have to babysit them a little bit, I think. All right. Well, so any chrome anywhere, I always buff it dry. Wipe the fridge. Yeah, that's about it, really. Oh, dishwasher. I always wipe the front, pull out the door, clean along the sides, and if you've got any gunk in there, just clean that out as well. It doesn't normally take long. Putting things away. Oh, let's talk about dishes. Dishes are not generally part of your job unless they've specifically said to you, can you do the dishes? Because they take so long. They take up so much time, you know.
I'm always
Um,
I didn't know that was part of, I thought when it was on the kitchen bench, you had to clean it. If it was there to wash, you had to wash it.
It's a judgment call, but it's not. And I know some clients will expect you to do it. Normally they'll have one girl that does it, and then they expect everyone else to do it. But as a general rule, it's not really part of what we should be doing. You know what I mean? And a lot of them.
Was that also with the businesses too when they leave their cups and mugs on that tray?
They should be doing it themselves in offices. If it's one or two, that's all right. But if it's stacked up, and this is when you have to start making judgment calls. You know, all right, have I got the time to do it? Yes, I have. Or have I got the time to do it? Fucking definitely not. You know, that will be your situation. If you've got time to do it, it's not really part of what we do. It's a hard one. Dishes, it's a hard one. If there's dishes in the dishwasher, I will, if I think I've got time, I'll put them away if I know where they're going. I've got some general idea, or put them through the dishwasher. You know, a lot of offices, if there's 4 cups on the sink, I'll put them into the dishwasher and put it on, because that gets rid of them, you know, out of your way. But yeah, like some clients, I mean, I remember one guy's house I used to go to, and we used to call it the frat house. And I spent literally 2 hours out of the 3 doing dishes, because he'd leave the whole week's dishes for me. But that was like an agreement. That was something that we'd gone through first. You know what I mean? He said, look, I'm going to need you to do the dishes. Is that all right? And I was like, yeah, fine. And like, it was gross because there'd be maggots and all that shit, and 2 weeks worth of food stacked up on the bench. But anyway, it's another story. So 1 or 2 is fine, just to get rid of it. But if there's stacks of dishes, what I would do is I'd try and put it back onto the client. Do you want me to do these dishes? Where possible, you know, do you want me to do these dishes? Because it will take up half your cleaning time. Is that okay? Yeah. And then they make the decision for you. You know what I mean? Okay. Let them fucking handle it.
All right, because I've always been doing the dishes. That's the thing. So yeah.
Yeah.
Mum makes me do the dishes every time we walk into somewhere. I freaking hate it. I don't want to do dishes. I do dishes at home.
Lucky you rarely work with me. Because I do it.
It's a nice thing to do if you've got the time. But if your dishes is cutting into you doing the floors properly or the bathroom properly, then no. That's when you've got to make that judgment call, you know?
Well, that's what I thought. If you're cleaning that kitchen spotlessly and making everything look spick and span, and having a cup there and plate there on the side just makes it look like out of whack.
It does. You know? It does. So get rid of it. Yeah. But don't let them use you so that eventually we go in and end up doing 2 hours of dishes instead of the clean that we normally do. All right. Yeah. All right. Moving on to bathrooms. I use a pool scrubber in my bathroom, in my shower cubicle, should I say. Generally, I only sort of descale the glass. We went through this last week. I'm a Jif person in my shower. What I like to do is I walk in, wet the whole interior surface, then I put Jif onto a pool scrubber and I scrub all 4 walls of your shower cubicle, and then scrub the floor. Then I rinse off, squeegee off, and then buff dry. That's how I do a shower. Some people prefer to use chlorofoam in the shower. I don't care what you use as long as you're getting everything off. Yeah.
I use your descaler on the glass.
Yep, descaler on the glass is good.
10 minutes, it comes up pristine.
Yeah, it does. Don't forget though to use a bit of bleach on your grout if you're getting mold build up in the corners, that sort of stuff. So when I do a bathroom, I walk in with the same kind of mindset. I walk in, I cobweb straight away. What I normally do is I will put one of my big towels onto the toilet seat, and then I take all of the stuff off the vanity, plonk it straight down on the toilet seat so it's out of my way. And then I start at the top. I'll do, whoop, lost somebody. Oh, the back again. I'll
that was me.
hot soapy water onto your glass. So pull scrub your mirror, squeegee off, let that dry. Then do your vanity, checking with your hands that when you're feeling around your vanity, you're actually getting everything. Because a vanity can look clean, but it's actually not when you feel it. So you really need to feel that with your hands. Yeah. Vanity fronts need to be cleaned, and your top lip of all your drawers. What else can I tell you? Oh, if you've got a blind in your bathroom, like one of those horizontal timber blinds, for example, what I do is because I have a dustpan brush in my tray, I normally go in, and as soon as I walk in, I will just brush that down with my dustpan brush. It doesn't take long, you know, but it's enough to keep it up so that it doesn't end up full of dust. Because it is your area, you have to sort of think, oh, well, I haven't got time to do that because that's going to take an extra 20 minutes, which I don't have. But I could brush it down, and that just keeps this week's dust from accumulating. You know what I mean? So that's another little quick one that you can add to your service. Cleaning toilets, I'm not even going to go through that. That's all blah, blah, blah. Scrub toilets. Okay, that's about it for bathrooms. Laundry. Do we do the laundry or do we not do the laundry? If you've got time, do it. What I normally do is I'll wipe the top of the washing machine, wipe the top of the fronts of the dryer, and wipe down the sink. But only if you've got time. Cobweb as you go. Damp dusting. So as I said before, always clean, damp dust your bedside table. A lot of this will happen in that magic time, you know what I mean, between finishing your kitchen and starting your floors. Generally at this point, I'm just going round with maybe a magic eraser in my pocket and a damp cloth and a bottle of Windex, because that's really all you need at this point when you're damp dusting, and your duster, obviously. Windowsills, tracks, that sort of stuff as you go. And then another good trick is when you're actually mopping out, you can, with your mop, get all of your skirting boards at the same time. It doesn't take much longer to just go over those skirting, because skirting boards get filthy and nobody really looks at them. So that's a good one. You can't do that in your carpeted rooms, but on your hard floor surfaces, definitely with that mop, try and along your skirting boards as you go.
Yep.
Vacuuming, I start at the rear and move towards your exit. I always carry a vacuum with an extension cord attached to it, and I try and position that vacuum cord, my extension, in the middle of the house, because that means you don't have to change plugs ever. If you've got one vacuum and one extension cord together and you plug it in the middle of your house, you should be able to do the whole house without changing plugs once, and that will give you an extra 5 minutes. It's not much, but it's something. Obviously clean behind the doors, clean under the beds, under the furniture, the edges of furniture. Always vacuum
Also
your sofas.
Fan covers too, and the fans.
Yeah.
The fans above you, they get really dusty, and I noticed when I started doing it, think how much crap came off them and haven't looked like they've never been dusted. So we could just get around the dusting fans and the exhaust fan caps.
Yeah, or in your bathrooms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in your laundry too.
Anything you can do to add value, if you can fit it in, do it. You know, they're not going to say, "Oh my God, you cleaned my fan. You're sacked."
Yeah, true.
and it's also not you. It's all right, Emma. What else can I tell you? All right. Oh yeah, sofas. If you've got a sofa and the cushions come off, I expect you to pull those cushions off and vacuum underneath. And what it is, and I hate doing it myself. I'm not a fan of vacuuming under cushions. I go straight up to it and just start pulling them off. I'll walk in the door and start pulling them off, because it's like, once they're off, you've got to do it. You know what I mean? You've committed to doing it. You can't put it off because you've actually taken the cushions off, and then you have to do it. That's what I do. I just walk in, start yanking cushions off, and then I've got no choice but to vacuum underneath them and put them back.
Yeah.
Same under rugs as well, turn the rug over, do one side, turn the other rug over, do the other side, and then put them back, and then vacuum the rug. All right, mopping. Use very hot water and the correct floor cleaner. If you use too much floor cleaner, it causes issues because it tends to build up and build up and build up, and then it gets slippery and someone will fall over. So the stuff that we use is diluted. It is very, very concentrated. It is diluted already. You don't need a lot of it. I've seen people pour like half a bottle into a bucket, and it's like, what are you doing? It's not designed for that. It's designed to be like, 50 ml per bucket, that sort of thing. So overusing causes issues in the long term. Use as hot water as you can get. There's also an issue with a lot of flooring these days, the new parquet flooring that comes in strips. If you get it too wet, you can actually fuck it up. And we've had this happen twice down here. It's like that. It looks like Scandinavian flooring. Be very wary of getting it too wet because it can actually absorb water. It's just rubbish, basically. I don't want us to get the blame for anything. Mopping, I start at the back of the room, move my way out, figure 8 motion. If there's a sticker or a mark or something on that floor that doesn't belong there, it's up to you at that point to get it off. It's not up to you to walk past and go, oh, yeah, that must live there. and if it's a, it could be a piece of blue tack, it could be one of the kids' Apple stickers, something like that that's stuck there. You have to get it off. And normally just a good scrub with your mop and your foot in the mop, giving it a scrub will remove it. Sometimes it doesn't get it off though, and you have to go back. If you think about how much time we spend on surfaces and how much effort we put in, when we get to the floors, we spend virtually no effort. It's a wipe over of such a massive area. So, you might just need to get a magic eraser and there might be a bit of a scratch mark or something. A lot of it will come out if you give it a little bit of welly. I say, a bit of welly. Changing your water. I know it's a pain. You get 2/3 way through the mop and you think, oh, I really need to change the water, but I'm going to have to walk all the way back, and I've got to sit. I know it's a pain, but if you think your water's dirty, then it is bloody dirty. You know what I mean?
Dirty, yeah.
So you're better off going to change it and doing the rest of that clean with a cleaner bucket. People do notice. We've had people run for it. Yeah.
By the end of it's not mud, it's not like dirt in your bucket, it's mud. Yeah. It's a pain. I know it's a pain. I hate that job. When you get to the front door, I normally, as I've got a rag in my pocket as I'm finishing, and just wipe that little bit dry right at that front door, because you can kind of have bits and stuff there. Outside areas, only time permitting. You can wipe the table, wipe over the chairs, give the veranda a sweep, get the hose out and give it a hose if you feel confident to do that. That's about it, mate. That's everything.